Las Vegas, a fund for victims of last year's mass shooting in Las Vegas, is paying out more than $30 million starting today. That money will go to the families of people who were killed and to victims with severe injuries. The families of each person who died, and there are 58 in total, will receive $275,000. People with permanent paralysis and brain damage from the shooting will get the same amount. Victims with less severe injuries will receive payments up to $200,000. Hard to believe it has been 5 months since a gunman opened fire from a 32nd floor window of the Mandalay Bay Hotel, shooting hundreds of people that were there attending the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival. Now, since that time, the Las Vegas Victims Fund took in $31.4 million from more than 90,000 donors. The fund says about 40% of the donations came from the Southern Nevada gaming, tourism, and entertainment industries. However, not everyone who was injured is benefiting from that fund. Brian Claypool founded Route 91 Strong to help other victims of the Las Vegas shooting, and he joins me here on set in Los Angeles. So help us understand the difference. So we see that fund going on, and it's doing well and getting all sorts of money. Tell me about your fund.
Right. We formed 2 days after the shooting Route91strong.org, and we've raised about $35,000. Doesn't sound like a lot, but remember, I'm a survivor of the Vegas shooting. We did this while we were grappling with our own shock and trauma, but we've made worlds of progress now. We plan on raising a lot more money in the coming months and years, and this is going to be a long-term project.
What motivated you to do it?
When I was dodging those bullets, Michaela, and I think you've met my little girl, I never thought I'd get home to see my daughter. And then I said to myself, wow, I didn't get hit by a bullet, and if I get out of this venue, I am going to help the people that were in that venue, because I know exactly what they went through. Yeah. Just like in Parkland, that sense of helplessness.
Well, and sadly we're seeing that again. So so help us understand how the money will be doled out, and what are the hopes of how it'll be used?
Well, there's good news and not so good news with this money being released today. It does help somewhat families of those who were killed and then serious physical injury, and that's great. That's wonderful. But there are probably thousands. I've talked to a lot of them. I represent a lot of victims, and there are so many people out there, Michaela, who, for example, didn't treat immediately for physical injury. So the money that we're talking about now is being released. If you treated, or if somebody died, you obviously qualify, but if you treated before October 10th, then you'll qualify for some of this money. If you treated afterwards, then you're not going to qualify for any money under this fund. And if, for example, you need mental health treatment for a lot of the PTSD victims, that's where Route91strong.org, our nonprofit, comes in. We distributed last week in Vegas, epic milestone, 10 checks to victims of the Vegas shooting who did not qualify for money.
But there's different standards, and I understand that they have to manage in some way, but you're sort of hoping to do this as a long-term venture, because you realize that a lot of the people may have injuries or traumas that they will be coping with for some time.
Yeah, absolutely. Give you a quick example. I have a client who treated after October 10th for a hip injury. She had a fractured hip. So that's not, she would not qualify for funding under the money being distributed. And then just a few weeks ago, she had an adverse reaction to medication.
More treatment's required.
Yeah, more medical treatment for that, Michaela. So that's where our nonprofit
I'm so glad you're stepping in, and I know it's also helping you through this too, because you know, you have your own memories of that day, and this is a way to help. When you help others, it helps yourself. Brian, thank you for being here. Thank you for the work you're doing, and you stay well, okay?
Thank you, Michaela.
Okay.